Hello and welcome to On the Bench, the weekly sports discussion show for the Lincolnshire and Humber region right here on Channel 7. I'm Rob Underwood. As usual on the show today we'll be taking a look at some of the interesting talking points that the world of sport's thrown up this week and also inviting our studio guests to share their opinions on the stories from the past 7 days. Well, joining us on the bench this evening is Ken Vincent, the chairman of Grimsby Borough Football Club, and Sandy Ritchie and Kirsty Douglas from the Grim Reavers, Grimsby's roller derby team. Well, pleasure to welcome you along. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Ken, first of all, tell us a little bit about Grimsby Borough.
Well, a very exciting time for us in our 10th anniversary, and at 1 minute past midnight today, we announced the amalgamation of Grimsby Borough FC and Grimsby Soccer Club FC to make a total club of 26 teams at this point in time, with more coming along, 2 girls' sides and a disability side. So the future looks extremely bright for the club.
How big is this deal for Grimsby?
Very, very big, because it gives the potential opportunity for young people to have a progression structure straight through from under fives right through to the first team and beyond into professional football.
And what about other links as well? Because this sounds all embracing.
It is all embracing. It gives kids the opportunity to look at the administration side of football, the medical side, the coaching side, because of the necessary guidelines that the FA issue that we have to run under. But it also gives those kids who have got disabilities as well the opportunity to come and play or do something that they wish to do, coached by people who have got those badges to take them through to the next level.
Sandy and Kirsty, let's turn to you. Grimsby's first ever roller derby team, I think I'm right in saying.
That's right.
Yep.
First ever.
What sort of reaction has that been met with?
Really good reaction, yeah. We've had great support from the start. We've been going since December, and we're probably up to about 25, going on towards 30 members now.
Oh, we'll talk some more about that as well. I'm looking forward to it in just a little while. And we'll, as you know, always looking for interesting clubs to send Matt Denson down to. This week was no different. You've probably guessed already. We contacted Sandy. We suited him up and we sent him down to train with the Grim Reavers. That's coming up later in the show, and trust me, you really won't want to miss that. Well worth seeing. And of course, we love to hear from you at On The Bench. You can send your questions in via Twitter using the On The Bench TV hashtag, or on our Facebook page, just search for On The Bench TV. This week, Tom Reid and Stu Cox have been answering your questions. That's coming up shortly. So a packed programme for you, but before all of that, let's have a quick roundup of this week's sport headlines. Well, Brazil won the Confederations Cup on Sunday night, beating Spain 3-0. The tournament acts as a rehearsal for next year's World Cup and has seen some great games and goals over the last few weeks. But it's also been marred by anti-government protests throughout the 28-day tournament. Nico Rosberg won a controversial British Grand Prix at Silverstone, with Mark Webber finishing second and Fernando Alonso third. The race saw 4 cars suffering left rear tyre blowouts, with teams and drivers up and down the pit lane calling for urgent action to be taken to avoid a repeat of the high-speed failures. And after Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer crashed out of Wimbledon last week, the latest shock saw Serena Williams knocked out and saw her career best winning run of 34 matches come to an end. And that's where I really want to start tonight, because it's been an exciting tournament with top seeds going out early in the competition. Murray won his first Grand Slam and gold at the Olympics, of course, since his appearance in the Wimbledon final last year. But will we see a British winner this year? Ken, what have you made of the tournament this time around?
I haven't watched a lot of it, but it's like everything else. You've got to have the determination and the confidence to deal with each opponent in their own right. And a lot of money has been fed into the tennis world, the same as football. So I think that the British opportunity, Murray definitely, to me, has got the ability to win it. He's got the charisma, and he's also got the confidence and the total determination to take forward.
And immediately that puts a lot of pressure on him, girls, doesn't it?
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Sandy,
I'd love to see him win. You know, I've spent years watching him come through the ranks and get really good, and just at the end, he just fails. It'd be nice to watch him.
Do you think any success this year, win or lose, will be devalued though by the fact that Federer and Nadal were knocked out so early on?
I don't know. These things happen in sport, don't they? You know, you
think
can't deny the fact that he's a good tennis player just because a few of them have got injured.
I don't think it demises anything. I think that's what competition is all
Yeah,
about.
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
And if you're good enough on the day to beat an opponent of Federer's ability, Nadal's ability, and anybody else in the top 10, then that's why it happens. And if you train hard enough and you want it, you'll take it.
Okay, some interesting points there from our guests on the bench tonight. Hopefully next week we'll be talking about an Andy Murray victory. Now, over the past week, we've been gathering together your questions and we've put them to our resident experts. Here's Tom and Stu with a view from the Estuary.
Hello and welcome to this week's View from the Estuary.
Yes, I think Suarez should leave Liverpool. I'm sure he signed for the club with assurances of Champions League football. They've not got that. They've had no success in the Europa League either. So the player that he is, he's got enough quality to go and play in the Champions League. So yeah, he should leave, I think.
Yeah, I think it'll be better for his career. He's mentioned Real Madrid, Barcelona a few times in the press over the recent weeks. If they try and sign him, I'm sure he'll bite their arm off.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer for the player and possibly the club if they can cash in on him. So yeah, he should leave, I think.
Yeah.
No, I'm not surprised actually. As you know, he's been number 2 driver to Vettel for a few years, and they've had their own, they've had clashes.
Yeah, the relationship hasn't been the greatest for the team. I think Mark Webber, being number 2 driver for so many years, it kind of would have got a bit tedious. He would have been a little bit fed up.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm not surprised. I mean, who do you think can replace him?
I think one of the Toro Rosso drivers. It's a sister team. They seem to be performing well.
Yeah, and don't forget Kimi Räikkönen's out of contract with Lotus, so he'd be a great asset as well. Yes, I think Murray can do it.
Yeah, I think it's certainly a lot easier for him now. Nadal's gone, Federer's gone. You look at last year, he was runner-up in the final at Wimbledon, went back onto centre court merely a month and a half later and beat Roger Federer in the Olympic final.
He's beaten Djokovic as well in the US Open last year, so he's beaten world number 1 and world number 3. So there's no reason why he can't. He's done it before.
This could be Murray's year.
Yeah. No, I don't think it will be next year's final. You've still got the Germans and the Dutch to come into the equation. They're by no means a pushover, so it's a totally different kettle of fish next year, I think.
Yeah, there's also the Argentines as well. They can surprise a shock in any round.
They're a force up front.
Yeah, they've got Messi. You've got to look at the other teams as well. Uruguay, they're in the Confederation.
There's always an underdog that overperforms, if you like, and you could knock a big dog out.
And don't forget the Africans as well.
So no, basically no. I think it'll be a German-Dutch final. Let's go for that one.
Spain-Holland.
Yes. Leighton Baines to Manchester United will benefit both parties, I think. Baines is 28. It's going to improve his international career, and obviously he's worked with Moyes before.
Yeah, I think that it's going to look well on his career as well. He's got international ambitions. He's got the chance to play Champions League football and ultimately win some trophies, where Everton have been a good team in the past, but they're not quite a final team, I don't think. I wouldn't be surprised I would see Baines to Man U, Butner to Everton.
Obviously Everton get a cash sum for him as well, so yeah, both parties happy. Thank you for your questions this week. If you've got a question for us, you can use Twitter @OnTheBenchTV, Facebook.com/OnTheBenchTV, or you can email us as well, studio@estuaryradio.com. Thank you for your questions. See you next week.
Some great questions there, certainly thought-provoking, so well done if one of your questions was answered by the guys this week. As always, if you've got a question for our Estuary boys, simply tweet your question with the On The Bench TV hashtag. Ken, football man, let's talk about Suarez a moment. Would you employ him?
I personally wouldn't. I think that sometimes footballers forget where they are. When you're playing for a club like Liverpool, who's got a massive history of excellent players, and being paid so well for something that you love doing, then to do what he's done over the last few weeks is, to me, just totally insulting to Liverpool supporters.
But isn't this a problem? It's not Liverpool as we remember Liverpool in the 80s, the great European Cup winning sides anymore. They paid a lot of money for him, didn't they?
Absolutely, they paid a lot of money, and he should give respect to the club. But also, I think what's more is that he should give respect to the memory of the Liverpool supporters who lost their lives at Hillsborough as well. On that terrible day in the FA Cup semi-final, and also to the history of the club. If he doesn't want to play, then go in and tell the manager, don't do it through the press, which is what he's been doing. And it to me is a sad affair, because so many of the young kids look up to Suarez, and when you look around at our training sessions of the under-5s and the under-7s, that name Suarez is on the back of a lot of their shirts, so they're looking up to somebody who isn't doing himself justice and coming across to the kids in the right way.
I'm sure Plenty will have plenty to say about that. Join us after the break when we'll be continuing the discussion with our guests, and we'll show you how Matt Denson got on with these girls sitting next to me at a Grim Reavers training session. See you soon. Welcome back to On The Bench. Now, ticket prices for most sporting events is quite a contentious issue, with prices always seeming to go up and up. Well, an article last week showed the gulf in difference between ticket prices in the Premier League and the Bundesliga and how expensive our league really is. Let's not forget that Bayern Munich are the current European champions and their cheapest season ticket is €80 or £69, whereas the cheapest in England's top flight is Manchester City at £299. Which leads me to what I want to discuss with our guests on the bench. Are clubs charging too much for a ticket? Does this affect the relationships with our fans? I suppose it's not just football. We can bring in the Olympics here because there was much talked about the Olympics, Sandy, wasn't there, at the time, about just how much those tickets really were?
Well, it was too expensive for most people. I couldn't go with my family. I mean, we did watch it on the telly, but there's no way we would have been able to afford to travel down to London and watch any of it.
Kirsty, how much is too much?
Well, I mean, the extortionate prices, I mean, anything sort of in the £500 range to £1,000 range would be too much for me. I mean, obviously people working with children as well, you've got to take that into consideration again, the travel. It's just all a bit too much when you price it all up, really.
Ken, again, in the world of football, are clubs in the real world in this country?
I don't think they are, no. Football is too expensive now. It's gone from a working class background to a point where clubs have taken it beyond the realms of reasonability, and I think that's what people are looking for. When you've got 2 or 3 games a week, that's Saturday, Tuesday or Wednesday or Saturday, then you're looking, if you're taking your family, then you can be looking in excess of £300 or £400 for that total for that week. And we've got to get back to the reality of and I realise why they charge those prices, because in Germany, clubs are not allowed to be bought by outside bodies. And that's why there are no foreign owners in Germany.
You're in a ridiculous situation, though, aren't you, where you could
Yeah.
actually fly out to Germany
Yes.
to watch a Bundesliga match
And
and
it's
pay
cheaper.
and still be quids in.
It's cheaper. But I think there's got to be a reality check on where we are and how much people can actually afford to pay to watch football. But the thing about it all is the British, and the English in particular, still go and watch football at the highest level, and we still pack grounds out. If you see an England international during the season, you'll see it packed to the brim with 90,000. If you go to Liverpool or Manchester United, you'll see it packed. Doesn't matter what the charge is, people will find some way of paying it. And that's the reality. And it's a fantastic reality to have in the UK, is that these football grounds are always full with passionate fans there supporting their own teams.
That's if you've got enough seats. And as we
Exactly.
find at lower league clubs, you just aren't allowed to have that many seats to get people in to raise that revenue, are you?
In some cases, no, they're not, because at the bottom end, it's totally you're relying on the television money and the fallback situation that you've always got. But sponsorship is the other side, and with the struggle that the British economy is in at the minute, we've noticed even at this level, we're being knocked back at every opportunity in terms of sponsorship. Where we were getting £4,000, we're now getting £1,000. So the reality is that we've got to check our budgets as well.
Sandy and Kirsty, could the Grim Reavers ever be in this situation where you're having to sell tickets and you have to pitch it somewhere?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the moment we're struggling for sponsorship in regards to getting spare kit. We eventually want to get our own arena sorted. I mean, we have arenas in Grimsby that aren't really big enough for us.
And how much of a threat is that to the future of the club?
It's quite a big threat, actually. We want to eventually hold games here, obviously bring all our fans to Grimsby, and money's a big issue. So we need to find a way to, advertise ourselves and get that revenue in, really.
So if any sponsors are watching, potential sponsors,
Definitely.
come forward.
We're ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
Well, Matt Denson joined Sandy and Kirsty for a Grim Reavers training session at Cleethorpes Leisure Centre. Before we get the opinion from the girls, let's have a look at just how he did.
So we've arrived. We're here in Cleethorpes at the Cleethorpes Leisure Centre. There's a roller derby inside. I'm going to find out more about it. Never done this before. Ladies roller derby team are going to teach me the ropes tonight on skates. Let's have some fun.
Welcome to the Grim Reavers.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We're excited to get you on our roller derby team. Quick session. We're going to start you off with a few simple basic falls and your derby stance and how to...
Basic falls?
Basic falls, yeah. You need to learn to fall. You do that a lot in roller derby.
Okay.
So we'll teach you to do it safely and then get you hitting people.
Fingers crossed.
Trust. It's all
Thank
good.
you. Let's do it.
also known as Killer Kess, and I play for the Grim Reavers. I love just getting together as a team and working as a team, you know, bit of, shouldn't really may say this, bit of brutal sport, it's a good laugh.
Oh, good evening, thank you for having me.
You're well, very
Please tell me who you are and what we're doing here.
Okay, my name's Kirsty. My escape name's Cursed Blood.
Cursed Blood?
Kind of like Rambo, yeah, just a bit different. This is the Grim Reavers team. We train three nights a week, Tuesday night at Cleethorpes Leisure Centre, Wednesday night at Hereford School, and Sunday at YMCA. If you imagine kind of rugby on skates, that's kind of a description of what roller derby is. You have a team of 5 people from each team on the track at a time. Our aim is to hit the other team down, their aim is to hit us down. Full contact sport, and we have 2 people called jammers who score points for us.
Hey, so how do we get hold of you?
Okay, so you can come to our roller disco on a Saturday night at Grimsby Borough Centre, or you can come to one of our training sessions and we can just introduce you, you can sit and watch, or we actually have a Facebook page, search for Grim Reavers, then we're on there. Give us a quick message and we'll quick chat.
Grim Reavers, great roller derby team, great fun. If you want to try something different, get yourself down to the roller derby at Cleethorpes Leisure Centre. Enjoy yourselves.
Ever willing, ever adventurous, Matt Denson joins us on the couch. How was it for you, Matt, with the Grim Reavers?
It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I say each week, and I sit here and I say, look, what I've just tried for the first time was great. I've got to say, I went into the Grim Reavers to find out about this roller derby. I was taken by how everyone was enjoying it, different ages, and we just had a great time. It was really good.
Well,
yeah.
These are the experts. What was it? Was he any good?
Really good, actually.
It was quite good, yes.
Something I want to talk. You've got to say that because he's sitting. Something I want to talk about are these names, because as well as Sandy and Kirsty, you do have your own names when you're on the ice. Well, you're on the skates, I should say.
We have our own skate names.
Yeah, my name's Cursed Blood. Tiny bit like Rambo, but I kind of threw my own name in there.
And again, what was yours, Sandy?
Penelope von Beats.
Have we got one for Matt?
We did, actually.
We did, I can't remember what it was,
I can't remember
but
what it was.
it's probably best we forget, to be fair. What it was. Dodgy amateur, I think that's what it was.
The knee pad, all the pads, is that essential? Because you can pick up injuries, can't you?
Yeah, we get pads from head to toe, basically. You obviously have your skates, you have knee pads, elbow pads, wrist guards, you always have a helmet and you have a gum shield as well when you play full contact.
That's the first thing you said, wasn't it? Have I got a gum shield?
Yeah.
I'm in for a tough night tonight.
Seriously though, what sort of injuries can you pick up?
A variety. Bruises, friction burns, sprains, breaks every now and then.
Not in our team yet, though.
We haven't had any yet.
It's no different to another ordinary team, is it? You know, they're well padded up, well kitted, and as I say, we had a good night, didn't we? There was no injuries that night, was there?
How can we find out more and get involved with the Grim Reavers?
We have a Facebook page, which is Grim Reavers on Facebook.
Go visit it.
Yeah, go visit it.
And Ken, Grimsby Borough, how can we find out more and get involved with
Just go
what
onto
is
the web.
It's a significant moment in the club's
Grimsby
history.
Borough FC. Just go onto the homepage and everything is there for people to read on.
Well, that's all we've got time for this week. Thanks to our guests tonight, Sandy Ritchie and Kirsty Douglas and Ken Vincent. Thank you for joining us and getting involved in the show, of course. We do appreciate that. We'll see you next time here at On the Bench. Take care. See you soon.